Petra, Jordan, ancient city. Petra, a treasure of the ancient world, hidden behind an almost impenetrable barrier of rugged mountains in the Jordanian governorate of Man, is deservedly one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Established sometime around the 6th century BC as the capital city of the Nabateans, Petra suffers from a host of threats, including collapse of ancient structures, erosion due to flooding, and improper rainwater drainage, weathering from salt, upwelling, and improper restoration of ancient structures. Nonetheless, it prides itself on being a symbol of Jordan, as well as its most visited tourist attraction of the place. Petra is considered the most famous and gorgeous site in Jordan, located about 262 kilometers south of Amman and 133 kilometers north of Aqaba. It is the legacy of the Nabateans, an industrious lot of Arab people who settled in southern Jordan more than 2,000 years ago. Hidden away amidst the folds of spectacular hills, this unique site known as Petra was lost to Europeans until it was rediscovered in 1812 by the Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt. The universal value of Petra resides in the vast extent of elaborate tomb and temple architecture, religious high places, remnant channels and tunnels. Petra is half built, half carved into the rock, and is surrounded by mountains riddled with passages and gorges. The Sikh, which literally translates to the shaft, is the main entrance to the city of Petra. The dim narrow gorge, around 3 meters wide, stretches all the way to approximately 1 mile. The Sikh is the result of a natural geological fault produced by tectonic forces and worn smooth by water erosion. The walls that enclose the Sikh stand at around 91 to 182 meters, 300 to 600 feet. The 1 mile long stretch of the Sikh ends at Petra's most elaborate ruin, Al-Khazne, also known as the Treasury. Al-Khazne is one of the most prominent and well-known tourist attractions of the city. Said to be built between 100 BC and 200 AD, the structure of Al-Khazne, carved out of a sandstone rock, derives its Arabic name Treasury from one of the legendary stories that bandits or pirates used to hide their loot in a stone urn high on the 2nd level. Set on a promontory that overlooks the valley of Petra to the west, accessible via a type of sacred stepped way cut into the rock, is another building with an imposing facade carved out of the rock. This is the 2nd most famous building in Petra and is known as Al-Dair, the monastery. After viewing the treasury, we come next to the street of facades, which is lined with tall, impressive tombs with large facades of false faces on their fronts. This street eventually leads us down into the heart of the city proper. North from the Khazne lies the massive or Jebel Kubta. 3 large structures, royal tombs, are carved into the rock face, which is known as the King's Wall. The first tomb in line is known as the Urn Tomb, a well-preserved monument that faces out over an open terrace fronted by a double row of walls. The elaborate structure fronts a single, unadorned room. On the inside, the walls seem smooth, while the interior corners are exact. The only decoration to be seen comes from the beautiful whorls of different colored sandstone in the walls, ceiling, and floor of the chamber. Beside the urn tomb is a much smaller tomb known as the silk tomb. This name comes from the rich color of the impeccably carved sandstone, which has a silk-like shimmer to it. The silk tomb is perhaps one of the most dramatically colored tombs in Petra. After some smaller tombs, the next major structure is the badly weathered Corinthian tomb, which resembles a smaller version of the Khazne. It is very worn, but if one stops to examine it, it is very ornate and similar to the Khazne. The next is the palace tomb, which is wide and has 3 distinct stories in its facade. In front of the tomb is a large stage, and in front of the same is a large courtyard. It is almost as if the palace tomb was designed as a backdrop for state funerals. Whether it is the grand entrance into the city or the incredible sight of the street of facades, a trip around the rose-red city, better known as Petra, is an experience that many find hard to forget because of the sheer awe that the city leaves its spectators in. It is rightfully called one of the 7 wonders of the world today.